Hey everybody! Oh god, that sounded bad. I was like, hey everybody! Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it's just Marco here once again. Excuse me. I am here to talk about my top 10 old movies that I watched in 2021. What I mean is any movie that's from before 2021 that I watched. So basically, like, I know they're not old movies, but it's just a general term to make things easier. So I have a lot of honorable mentions that I just wanted to touch on briefly. Briefly. Okay, there was a movie I watched called Rag Tag, and it was a gay indie movie, and I think it's a really cheap, badly put together film. It's really kind of dumb and, kind of a waste of time, but it is a nice little movie. Like, it's a very cheap movie. It was made for little, and I overall, it was okay. I mean, I just thought that I should mention it because I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. Someone told me to watch it, and I was like, yeah, okay. So, also, there was a movie I watched called, trying to find it. Well, Head of the Family was okay. I'm just going to go through these. Head of the Family from Full Moon was okay. Out of Time with Denzel Washington was pretty good. Irresistible with Steve Carell. I actually thought that was kind of funny, and I enjoyed that. And then Home Alone 5, The Holiday Heist, that was pretty good. A lot better than I expected, let me tell you. And another one, I didn't finish it yet, but I really, really liked it from what I saw. Well, I liked it in a good, bad way. And it was called The Price for Silence. And it was a Richard Thomas movie that I watched. I was planning on reviewing all of Richard Thomas's movies. And this movie's fucking hilarious. And the main actress, her name is Lynn Manchinelli. And she is fucking hot. And she's got this really sexy voice. And I just wanted to shout that out. But the movie was overall really, really funny bad. Another good movie that I saw was Muay Thai Girls, starring Gina Carano. This this movie was fucking hilarious. It was so bad. It was such a fucking embarrassment of a film where you had all these real life fights in between, like, this terrible contrived story where it's just just these girl fighters, like, fighting and training, and it's so bad. It was so bad. And at one point they're fighting leaves in the backyard, and but I will say there's a fight at the end, and the best actor in the movie was actually the villainous Thailand female fighter. She was like this badass fighter, and over the course of the fight, her confidence just kept on going down and down, and then you saw a change where she was like getting pummeled by Gina Carano, and if she was an actress, she would be really good. She wasn't, though. Another one was Home Sweet Hell. I've literally watched this movie randomly. Like, I just picked this movie out of a hat to watch on Amazon Prime, and it's got Katherine Heigl, that bitch. Obviously, I hate her, but it's a funny movie, and it's like a good bad movie, and I actually liked it. Everyone basically hates it, and they say. And another thing, Katherine Heigl, gross. Here's the thing about Home Sweet Hell, though. It has got Jordana Brewster, the sexiest Latina actress in Hollywood, and let me tell you, you get your Jordana Brewster fill and more in this movie. And for that alone, it's worth it. It's got some nice little twists. Again, it's very, very enjoyable. Another one that I kind of enjoyed was A Simple Favor. I didn't think I was going to like this one because it was made by the dipshit who made the Feminazi Ghostbusters. But I actually kind of enjoyed it. I thought that it was like a okay film, and overall I liked it. Another one I liked was called The Tenant, and it was about Roman Polanski, and it's all about him moving to this new apartment, and he goes crazy. And I didn't really like it that much, but it was just very interesting to me. And I really thought about, like, man, this could have been a masterpiece if only they had fucking made changes and made it a lot scarier, a lot better. Like, they had all the best ingredients and they wasted it. Another good one, well, that one wasn't good, but what was that? What's that woman's name? What's that? Another Roman Polanski movie I watched was called Carnage. It was not a good movie. It was just an hour and a half of people talking in a room. But Kate Winslet was fucking hot, and the way that she looked, she had this ponytail the whole way. Man, I really, really, she really was. And for that alone, I would recommend the movie. She actually said she regretted working with Roman, which is sad because everyone in the movie gave great performances. And honestly, like, it was enjoyable in that way. But the highlight is definitely Kate Winslet. Wow. And then also, a movie I didn't like, but still it was okay, it was called The Strangers in 7A. This movie, it was hilarious in like a good bad way. There's this hilarious part where Andy Griffith is like 70, and he's standing in a room like dancing with this young girl, and he's like taking his shirt off, and the camera's like circling around them. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen. But the real highlight of this movie is the villain. The main villain in this movie is probably one of the greatest villains in film history. Seriously, he is that good. He is scary. He was actually a real-life Vietnam veteran. And I think he made this movie like right after he came back. And that PTSD, you could tell. You could tell. And so it made him like really scary, actually. And it really boosted the movie above being trash, honestly. So yeah. And then another one I saw that was pretty good was, well, Black Christmas was okay, but it was really kind of mediocre. As Above, So Below was pretty good. That was another one where the main female character, she was definitely the highlight. You know, she's the sexy British girl, and it was really hot how she at the end of the movie, she like punches demons and knocks them out. And I thought that was hilarious. And then The Witch was okay, but it wasn't really a horror movie at all. And yeah, Big Bully was actually a horror movie, I think. Like Big Bully with Tom Arnold, that was a real horror movie. Tom Arnold was scary in that movie. He really freaked me out. The Man Next Door with Michael Onkian from Twin Peaks, that was pretty good. I thought that he gave a great performance in that. It was a made-for-TV movie, and he did a great job playing this former convicted rapist, this formerly imprisoned rapist trying to live in a small town. He did a great job, and that movie was actually pretty damn good. Another one was an Australian movie that I didn't review for the second Australian week called Nightmares. And wait, is it? Because I remember there was an alternative title. Yes, it was. And it's a really fun, bad movie about this girl who kills people, and she also wants to be an actress, and so she's acting in this play, and the director of the play is fucking hilarious. I mean, he's really like a Gordon Ramsay level director, and he was really funny. But the movie was pretty bad. And then another one I watched was Our Guys, and what was the subtitle? Our Guys, Outrage at Glen Ridge. This one was actually pretty good. It was a true story movie about a gang of high school football players who rape a mentally retarded teenage girl. And it's actually like a really pretty good TV movie. It's really, really dark. And it was directed by the guy who directed Telling Lies in America. And it was really kind of upsetting near the end, because they actually kind of show what they did. It's really like dark. Another one that I watched that I really liked was The Bigamist. And I watched this because I saw it on Welcome to the Basement. It was directed by Ida Lupino, and I wanted to watch it because she stars in it, and she directs the movie and wrote it too. And I actually really, really enjoyed it. I thought that... Oh, wait, no, she didn't write the movie. Sorry. I really enjoyed it. It was a very well-made film. And honestly, like, the subject material I could fucking care fucking less about. But I really liked it. Surprisingly, like, I thought, wow, that was a good movie. Another pretty good one was The Gambler. The original Gambler with James Caan. I loved the movie up until the end. The ending literally ruins the whole fucking movie. I mean, the ending is just this really corny, bad ending. And it's sad because it almost made it to the top 10, but it fucked up for that shitty ending. And Paul Sorvino is really good in it too. He plays basically this friend who he's working for the mob, and he's the one taking the payments, and he was actually really good in it. And I liked it. I would say though that the remake is better, because the remake fixed the ending, that shitty fucking ending, and then the remake didn't really meander as much too. Another one I liked was Rescue Dawn with Christian Bale. I thought that was pretty good. You know, it was pretty good. I watched it multiple times, including with Safi, so I enjoyed it. Another good one was called Delirious, and this was one starring Steve Buscemi and Michael Pitt. And basically, Steve Buscemi is a paparazzi, and he's really funny in the movie. And Michael Pitt is this homeless guy who really wants to be an actor. And Steve Buscemi takes him in, and they start working together as paparazzis. And it's a really nice movie. It's funny. It's got a lot of heart in it. You can really tell the heart that's in this movie. The story with wanting to be an actor, and how everything ends up, and Steve Buscemi's character. It's actually, like, I look back and I really, really like that movie. In fact, I would almost like to put it in the top 10. Now, finally, damn, I spent way too much time talking about these eye candy actresses who I watched in honorable mentions. My number 10 is Stalking Laura. Now, I fucking love this movie. It is so, so good. It stars Richard Thomas as this obsessive, evil stalker, and also Brooke Shields, the sexy Brooke Shields, is in it. And he stalks her the whole movie, and it escalates to him committing a shooting. And he goes to her workplace where he used to work, and he shoots up the place, and it's a really intense final act, and it ends with like such a fantastic note, where he's almost like a supervillain. He gets in the police car, and he's like, do you think she'll ever you think she'll remember any of this? And the people are looking at him like he's insane. And his performance was just so good. Like, this whole movie, I tell you, he deserved a fucking award for this movie. He did such a good job. He was funny at some points. He was scary at some points. He was sad at some points. He did a really good job. But the downside, the reason why it's number 10 is because of Brooke Shields. Her character, this is a real life story, but I don't care. It's a TV movie. I'm not saying the real life woman was bad, but Brooke Shields is really, really unlikable in this movie. She is such a biatch, like just a goody-goody model, and she's really a terrible actress in this movie. And all of the acting, except for Richard Thomas, is pretty much like cheesy TV movie acting. Number 9 is Past Midnight with Rutger Hauer, and this is another made-for-TV movie. I highly recommend it. It's pretty mediocre throughout the movie. Like, it's just a very like average movie, and the whole movie you think that it's going to be a very predictable ending, but then in the last act they do this turn, this twist, and it is such a fantastic last act where everything, your whole perspective is changed, and it's really intense, and it's got some like Hitchcockian stuff in this movie. And so yeah, I really like that one. It's a thriller and it's really good. The only thing I would criticize is the romance. And spoiler alert, the main woman in the movie, she's in love with Rutger Hauer, who's basically like, he's clearly the bad guy, but then he isn't. That's why I said spoilers. But she's in love with him, and then she friend zones Clancy Brown, and Clancy Brown is so likable in this movie, especially. And so it's really kind of like irritating to watch this bitch friend zone Clancy fucking Brown, and instead be with Rutger Hauer, who is like this insane weirdo who he comes to her house at one point and is just sitting in the room in the dark, and then he lights a cigarette like, yeah, that's weird. And then it's really sad when Clancy dies too. But yeah, I would highly recommend it. It's a good movie. It's a really good movie for a rainy day, too. Speaking of a good movie for a rainy day, Dead Ringers with Jeremy Irons. This is a movie about twin gynecologists, and there's a girl that they both want to fuck and want to be with. And she's an actress as well, which means she's pretty manipulative and everything, and trouble happens from there. And I'll just say that, the movie, it took a lot of stupid plot turns. Like, it was based also on a true story, kinda, but I really, really was disappointed in how lame this movie was. Like, nothing ever really happens at all, except for, like, this one really good scene where he operates on a woman, and it's like a horror movie. But the reason why this movie is in the top 10 is because of Jeremy Irons. He gives a perfect performance. I've never really, thought much of Jeremy Irons, but in this movie, he's fucking perfect. And I really liked him. Number 6 is House on the Edge of the Park. This is a fucking amazing horror movie. It's all about this rapist and his partner, his mentally retarded partner, and they go to this house where these people are having a party, and they basically take them hostage. And it's basically Last House on the Left, but good. And it's so good. I've watched this movie like 10 times because it was free on YouTube, and it stars David Hess from Last House on the Left. He is so much better in this movie too. And yeah, it's so good. And what really cements this movie as being a masterpiece in horror is the ending. I won't give away the ending. The ending twist, it's fucking awesome, and it's so satisfying after everything that happens the whole movie. So yeah, number five. Wait a second. Okay, wait. I got to admit, I fucked up. Okay, number 8 was Dead Ringers. Number 7 was House on the Edge of the Park. Number 6 is Primal Fear. Primal Fear, it's a classic. What else can I say? Like, seriously, like, if you haven't seen Primal Fear, then go fucking watch it, you idiot. Not really, not really an idiot, but you know what I mean. It's a classic film. There's nothing that I could say about it that would, change that. The real... Wait a second. Okay, now I'm really screwed up. Wait a second. Wait. Oh, fuck. 8, 7. Okay, number 5 is To Catch a Killer. Sorry, I'm really screwed up because I wanted to change a movie around, so now I'm, like, being really bad about the numbers. Number 5 is To Catch a Killer, the TV movie about John Wayne Gacy, trying to catch John Wayne Gacy and surveil him until he goes crazy. It stars Brian Dennehy, and he gives an award-worthy performance. He is so scary, and the movie gets really sad. And it really... this is a masterpiece of a movie. I don't even think it should be considered like a TV movie. Like, they should just take that label off of it, because it's that good. Like, it's so intense, and the 4-hour buildup is really good. Number 4 is A Star is Born, the 1937 movie. This is another one that's really heartbreaking. It's a movie from the 30s, and it literally destroys the movies that came out in 2021. And the story is a classic, and it really hits you in the feels, and especially how it's sort of based on a real life guy who, spoiler alert, he killed himself because he was a silent actor who couldn't make it in the sound era. So yeah, I really like that, honestly. Number 2, and see, I'm having a bit of trouble now. Wait a second. Okay, did I do right with the numbers? No. So that was number 3. Number 2 is... Wait, no, that was number 4. No, number 4 was The Star is Born. Number 3 is Bully. What can I say? No, number 3... Oh, fuck. This video is fucked up. I should have been drunk filming this one, too. On New Year's Eve when I filmed the worst ones. Number 3 is Assault on Precinct 13. This is a classic action thriller film. It's really intense, and there's such a ballsy moment that I fucking love where they kill this little girl, and it's basically the impetus of the movie, and that was just so awesome. I literally started clapping and cheering that they had the balls to kill this little girl character instead of just doing the, safe modern movie route. And, I love the main 2 characters in this movie. Well, the main 3 characters. You got Ethan, Bishop, and you have Napoleon and Leigh. And they're probably the greatest character trio in film history. And watching them fight off these bad guys together to the death is just a really amazing, unforgettable experience. And Napoleon, I looked up and I was really sad to see that the actor was shortchanged and he was not given the respect that he deserved as an actor. And that really upset me when I saw that. He was only in like a couple of other things, and he deserved better. Like he really, like, he was legendary in this movie. And so I really gotta say that I am so disappointed in you, Hollywood, for not giving him more movies and more roles to show off his greatness. Number 2 is Bully. I have already talked about this movie on and on and on. There is so much to fucking love about this movie. Brad Renfro, rest in peace, gives a phenomenal performance as this guy who he's been abused by his best friend, and he's almost like a Frankenstein monster type of henchman, and he finally comes into his own when he decides to kill his best friend. And then you have his best friend Bobby, and this is also a true story if you don't know. His best friend Bobby is so good at being like this hateable bad guy, played by Nick Stahl. And then you have Rachel Miner. Oh my god. She is so fucking hot. She's probably the sexiest actress I've ever seen in a film. And not only that, but she is the best actress I've ever seen in a film. This performance is my favorite female performance I've ever seen. She had so many layers to her. She was creepy. She was sympathetic at some points. She was really perfect. And she deserved an Oscar. And then you have Michael Pitt. He was pretty good. You had Daniel Francis. He was pretty good. And then you had Buju Phillips. And she was really, really good, honestly. I heard that she was a bully in real life, according to Daniel. He did an interview where he talked about acting with her. And I also heard from the director of the movie, he said that she was a whore. She did a good job playing herself, if that's true. And then you had Leo Fitzpatrick, Kelly Garner. They did a great job. But it was such a dark film. There's no other film that's ever created the feeling that I've gotten from this movie. Like just the pure feeling of darkness, comedy, all the different genres combined into one. It is a fucking masterpiece. It's a perfect film. I watched it like 40 to 50 times this year alone. That's how much I love this movie. But nothing. This is the movie that I changed everything. I changed it and I put it at number 1. It's a movie that is really, really personal. It extends to that. I am a little biased. I did put this movie at number 8, but I have to put it at number 1. It really means that much. Telling Lies in America, starring Kevin Bacon, playing his greatest role he's ever played. He's so perfect as this radio DJ who, he looks like a really badass DJ on the outside, but then you realize that his life sucks, and that if you end up like him, then you're just a shell of a person. And then you have Brad Renfro, rest in peace, and he plays the main kid, and he gives an okay performance. Honestly, he wasn't that good. And then, also, I gotta shout out, Callista Flockhart played the love interest in this movie, and she is the greatest love interest I have ever seen on film. I mean, she is so fucking sexy as this, like, Audrey Hepburn style girl. And just the movie itself, you think, it really tricks you with this romance, this 1950s romance, this comedy, this lightness. It tricks you. It pulls you. It reels you in. It just pulls you and pulls you. And then when you get to the last portion of the movie, everything around you that you know is destroyed. Everything. your hopes, your dreams, everything is destroyed. And the only thing that this kid gets at the end of the movie, the only happiness that he achieves, is that he's an American citizen with his father. He doesn't, the woman that he loves, she's marrying this piece of shit Luke Wilson character. His mentor fucked him over and almost destroyed his ability to become a citizen. He has bullies at school, and he's disgraced by his community, and everything is horrible except for the fact that he's a citizen. And honestly, this movie is just so good. And the tagline is just "Don't get caught." And honestly, this movie deserves better. People need to watch this movie and put the respect that it deserves on it. It really hit me hard, and it's such a meaningful film to me, and I don't know, it's just perfect. And if the movie itself isn't already perfect, the soundtrack to this movie, all the songs from this time period, this is the greatest movie soundtrack I have ever heard. And I don't think it'll ever be topped. Kevin Bacon even wrote an original song for at one point in the movie. Again, this movie should have won Oscars. I mean, I don't understand. It was made by the guy. It was written by the guy who wrote Basic Instinct, and God, it is so good, and it's so heartbreaking, and it has a great message. There's a lot of great comedy. The movie is full of color. Like, I'm saying, like, color is in, like, just, it is such a colorful, beautiful film, and there aren't enough good things that I can say about it. At first I just took it for granted, and I said, this is just nothing but a meaningless comedy, coming-of-age, cheesy 90s film. But I rewatched it, and rewatched it, and rewatched it, and rewatched it, and it just gets better and better and better. And again, every single thing about this movie is so good. And you really feel for the main character. You can really identify with his struggles and everything that goes on with him. And then you have Kevin Bacon, who's just the coolest character ever. And even though he is slimy and he was evil at the end, he kind of, he just comes off like he's an older version of Brad Renfro, if Brad Renfro kept on being like he was in the movie. And so, yeah, this movie made a big impact on me, and it's one of my favorite films, along with Bully. And, even if you took out the hot-ass Callista Flockhart, even if you replaced her with, like, an ugly actress, this movie would still be fucking 10 out of 10 masterpiece, A+, phenomenal, one of the best of all time. So I really have to say, Telling Lies in America is perfect. And that's the end of this fucking long-ass fucking video. It's gonna take a fucking long-ass fucking time to fucking edit this fucking thing. That's for damn sure. So anyways, and I'm sorry I got a little sappy there at the end, but when I really think about Telling Lies in America, I can't lie about it, because the movie told me not to lie. So when I talk about it, I get a little emotional about it. So please like this video and comment and tell me if you watched any good movies last year, any good old movies. And then please subscribe to our channel if you want to see more ranking videos. If you want to see more honest movie reviews and good television reviews too, I do all the best reviews. All the best reviews on this channel comes from me. So yeah, goodbye everybody. See you soon.